Hello there. Welcome to a new edition of BOI Weekly. I'm Olayemi Odunuga. This week, we take you all the way to Bayelsa State in the South-South region of Nigeria as we focus on the success story of the Bank of Industry's tech hub there. Another innovation of the bank aimed at promoting youth entrepreneurship. BOI's aim is to help boost the economy, create jobs and enduring wealth, which is why the bank commenced granting of loans to micro, small and medium entrepreneurs across the country. And this is no different. Over the last 3 years, the bank has been promoting the development of information and communication technology hubs in different states as part of efforts to tackle youth unemployment in the country. The technology hubs is part of the bank's corporate social responsibility initiative aimed at promoting skills acquisition and development, youth entrepreneurship, and job creation driven by new technology and innovations. Welcome to the program. The regional manager of the Bank of Industry in the South-South says embracing technology and infusing it into business processes will make organizations and the country more competitive. He adds that the information and communication technology industry is a major pillar for a diversified economy and explains that the Bank of Industry remains committed to providing funding to support credible, innovative, and bankable ideas emerging from the tech hubs to enable them to start operations and scale up viable businesses.
Yes, so welcome to
The Bank of Industry officially launched the Vertebra Tech Hub in Bayelsa State 2 years ago as part of its corporate social responsibility, aimed at promoting skills acquisition and development, youth entrepreneurship, and job creation, predicated on new technology and innovations. Established on the 4th of November 2019, the Bayelsa Tech Hub is a technology and innovation center in Yenagoa, the state capital. And the idea of the hub, which is funded by the Bank of Industry, is aimed at improving technology acquisition and adoption across the state, and to also ensure that youths are encouraged to take advantage of cutting-edge technology. Located in Yenagoa, where internet-based offices and technology-driven businesses are already thriving, and with a teeming youth population eagerly looking for genuine business opportunities to grow. The Tech Hub is an innovation of the Bank of Industry, which is daily spiraling the growth of businesses by MSMEs in the state. 2 years down the line, the South-South regional manager of the bank shares his thoughts on the Tech Hub, which he believes deserves replication in every state and local government in the country.
The Bayelsa Tech Hub is a strategic CSRO project funded by Bank of Industry for the good people of Bayelsa State. It is actually a collaboration in the sense that the Bayelsa State government provided the space and Bank of Industry funded all the equipment and is also responsible for the operations, the funding of the operation for the past 2 years. So for us, as a development finance institution, we always embark on projects such as this in order to showcase what is possible in the society. So a DFI, development finance institution, is like we create a cowbell effect, showcase what is possible so that members of the public and the private can see what is possible and begin to channel their funding. So that is what we try to achieve with the Bayelsa Tech Hub as a CSRO project, to showcase the models, business models that are possible. And some of the business models that we wanted to showcase with the Bayelsa Tech Hub include a co-working space, an idea where different entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, can now work together within one roof, under one roof, and so that they don't need to bother themselves about some overheads like the rent, like power, like internet. So all these are already being provided. They just rent a space there. So these have a way of reducing their overhead. And this is very important for a budding entrepreneur. You don't need to load yourself with so many burden of of cost. You must be trying to reduce your costs significantly. So we have the co-working space in that hub. We also have the business incubation. Business incubation is to see to the startup of the funding of startups. So people that have new ideas, instead of looking for a space to start up, they just come to that place, and that become like a nursery. It's like a nursery for SMEs to grow. They expand and get to a point where they can now say, okay, we want to be on our own. Then we also have the laboratory for robotics, the drone technology, then artificial intelligence, and internet of things, and machine language. So these are new frontiers in technology that our people should be abreast of. So you don't see this kind of laboratory everywhere. So the idea of the Bayelsa Tech Hub was to expose the good people of Bayelsa, especially our teeming youth population, to this new way of doing business, to this technology, so that we can begin to see how the locals, our leaders of tomorrow, can use technology to address local problem in the society. Then we have technology and enterprise training. So the hub for the past 2 years have been involved in training enterprises, MSMEs, in the use of technology and also how to run their business. So all these are all the models that the Bayelsa Tech Hub encompasses. And the whole idea was to see, is it possible? It is a new way of doing things where you are looking at co-creation. And the success for the past 2 years, that we have run this model for the past 2 years and is sustainable, to us gladdens Bank of Industry, that what we set out to achieve with this, we are beginning to see the fruit of it. So we believe at Bank of Industry that these models, the co-working space, the business incubation, all these are now ideas that are ripe for private sectors, players, and even the public to begin to invest their fund into. The idea of the Bayelsa Tech Hub located in Yenegua can actually be replicated across local governments. In every 774 local governments in Nigeria should have such a tech hub. And it should not just be funded by government. Private sector should be able to invest in having a tech hub in their own local government. And Bank of Industry will be willing to come in to fund some aspect of it, especially when the aspect that will involve equipment and utilities. But we will be very sure that whatever tech hub we are going into, we have seen the business plan and it's going to be viable.
The manager of the Bayelsa Tech Hub highlights the overall objective of the Bank of Industry, which includes the bank's corporate social responsibility and investments that can generate better benefits for the country. He explains that the hub has continued to provide young people the opportunity to create legitimate wealth.
The Bayelsa Tech Hub was actually inaugurated on the 4th of November 2019. At that time, I was not the manager of this facility, but I was here for the inauguration. And then in March, I think about March 13th, I took over as the manager of this facility. That's March 13th, 2020, just few weeks before the COVID-19 period, was kicked off. But basically, the hub was launched, like I said initially, to activate or just achieve two broad objectives. The first objective was to see how small businesses, that is MSMEs in Bayelsa State, could begin to leverage on technology to begin to improve on their business process. We want to have a situation where businesses move just beyond the regular buying and selling to becoming innovation-driven enterprises, begin to scale beyond their locality, begin to leverage on technology and digital tools to scale their business process. And then we begin to hear that we have startups also being vetted from this particular region. And then the second objective was to strengthen the youth participation in technology. Of course, technology is is the future. In fact, it is the now. And so it is important that more people, particularly young people who have the energies, begin to channel that energies into, resourceful thinking, upskilling themselves, acquiring digital skills, particularly the in-demand ones, and even skills of the future, and then begin to create solutions around them. So with that, we are ensuring that more young people become self-reliant, and then they are using technology as a pathway to betting a new career path for themselves or starting up a business for themselves. So those were the two objectives that founded the operations of the Bayelsa Tech Hub. In the last 2 years, we've held a series of events that are targeted to MSME development. We've had events where we brought in regulatory bodies, we brought a government representative, we brought financial institutions to create that business linkages between the producers, the MSMEs, and all of these various stakeholders that will help them, improve on their business process. Just in March this year, we had the Bayelsa Women SME Fair, which was just targeted towards women businesses, women-led businesses or women-owned businesses in Bayelsa State. And we had over 200 business people, women, who came to exhibit their produce. They met with regulatory bodies to learn how better they can stay on the, on the regulatory part or the compliance part. We had them interface with government bodies like the Ministry of Trade, with SMIDAN, even a representative from Bank of Industry was even here in that meetup. So a lot of these businesses now are beginning to see how they can begin to, apply, not just be on the regulatory part, but then begin to apply technology to help them scale their business. And it has been amazing. Most of the businesses that have come for these meetups or these events, they have moved on from just being the regular buying and selling businesses to branding their businesses using technology and then scaling. When you go online, thankfully we have the social media. The result is almost clear. Particularly if we use this Bayelsa Tech Hub, which is powered by the Bank of Industry, as a case study, we've successfully be able to impact on a lot of people, particularly the younger generation. So far, in the last 2 years, we've equipped over 1,000 young people on different tech skills through our in-house trainings, our hosted partner events. We've been able to equip them, and Bank of Industry is sitting as that big father that has made all of these things possible. With these establishments powered by Bank of Industry, we'll be able to reach out to schools. About 23 schools have been, gotten their students to be involved, to come to learn how they can begin to, use programming, use coding as another alternative to, better engage their kids. We hosted a program in partnership with the Bayelsa Expo team sometime in March this year. And in that program, we had a science fair, an exhibition. In that program, we had a young lad, SS3 student, who built his own plane, self-taught. And then right in the exhibition, he did a test run. He flew the plane. Just here, the whole buzz about it was all on social media. A young lad of just SS3 could build something for himself. And then we had other innovations. We had a young girl who built a walking stick that has a sensor device attached to it for the visually impaired. So for those kind of people, once they are walking with that walking stick, as they approach an obstacle, it will make a signal, a noise to indicate that there's an obstacle in front of you. We had another young boy who built something that detects shadow. So it's like a security device that can be put on your door or your window. So if you have somebody, an intruder, coming to stay or pass, it will give you a notification inside of your house. And these are the kind of things that we're able to, through this platform, get more people to be aware of the various opportunities in technology, and then we are getting them to even the best level of their life, and ensuring that through the support of Bank of Industry, more of these young people can begin to grow the businesses of their dreams.
The hub manager, accompanied by the admin manager, takes our crew round the facility as he explains the services obtainable at the hub.
At this lab, we have most of our robotics equipment embedded there. So most of the people that you see here are deeply involved in things like data analytics, involved in embedded systems and robotics. They do computer programming, they do 2D and 3D modeling. We even have a dedicated 3D printer here. So for people who want to build prototypes of their hardware solutions, they can actually model it and then do a prototype of that their solution over here.
On the part of the Secretary General of the All-African Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, Bayelsa Tech Hub is a sure platform for promoting the ingenuity and creativity of young people in the state and the country at large in order to channel their energy to more productive and impactful ventures.
Apparently, I must tell you that the idea initially was that of Bank of Industry. And this is because they had already deployed something like this in Lagos. And they wanted to experiment with other parts of Nigeria. Unfortunately, Bayelsa State, south of Nigeria, at the time in 2019, was qualified. And I use the word was qualified because Bayelsa State was already developing an idea for various hubs. We wanted to have the garment factory. We wanted to have the leather works hub. We wanted to have a petrochemical hub where you can, turn petroleum products into plastics. Areas where we had comparative advantage, and we felt that this was how the state could grow its economy. So when we did this presentation to Bank of Industry, then at the time it was in sync with their idea of our hubs in Nigeria, using technology to drive enterprise. And because it was in sync, it got the management of Bank of Industry led by Piton. Mr. Piton was able to approve that they establish the tech hubs in Bayelsa. And the idea is to drive aggressive economic growth for SMEs in Bayelsa State. Yeah, for us, it's a thing of joy and a thing of pride because for every business, the first 2 years is most challenging. If you're able to surmount the challenges in 2 years, you're able to still become relevant and up and running, then you have not done badly. And here you are today. This is one facility that has been in constant use. The youths are always here learning different soft skills, ICT soft skills, from coding to branding, digital marketing, and all you have, robotics. And they're using it to develop applications to solve Bayelsa problems. Applications for oil and gas, detecting gas leaks, applications for flooding, and various other applications that are relevant to what is the challenge of today in this vicinity. And I think this idea has come to stay. The Tech Hub was a thing of the future because when this was created in 2019, nobody knew that there was going to be COVID in 2020. And as soon as COVID came, the hub was already in place to provide services for conference calls, conference meetings, e-learning. All that was just keyed into easily because the hub, the facility, was just available for use. So I just want to say that Bank of Industry, they think for the future, and that future is now. The patronage has been fantastic. It's well above satisfactory. What is most important for what happens here is the fact that is the facility relevant? Yes. Is it being used? Yes. Are the youths happy about it? Yes, they are. And is there room for improvement and better development for the youths? Yes, there is. And to build the Bayelsa of our dreams, to attain the future that we need, and to make our youths future ready for that future, this facility is most relevant. And we're happy because they are using it satisfactorily.
The admin manager of the hub, lists the achievements recorded in 2 years of establishing the hub, just as a student shares his experience of his patronage of the hub.
We do a lot of software trainings and development. So majorly I will try to list the number of trainings that we do as Bayelsa Tech Hub. The trainings ranges from cybersecurity, digital marketing, software development, mobile app development, web design, product design, where they're introduced to UI and UX, and a lot more computer programming, robotics engineering, and as well as drone technology, and amongst others. In all of these things, we'll be able to produce a lot of young ones that are into UI, UX, that is user interface and user experience, whereby they can build mobile softwares, mobile apps, ranging from all these bank apps that we use. Those are some prototypes of the things they've done. We have produced young ones that are able to build websites. You can give them a contract, they can build a website for you. You can come here and they do that. We are able to train a lot of persons in the area of cybersecurity. And as we know that cybersecurity is one of sorted after skills in the world now, because there's a lot of information out there online and people want to protect their information as well. So these skills is important. So thereby we produce a lot of persons that are advanced now in that area, and they are being sorted after people in other places. Also, we'll be able to train a lot of persons in the area of digital marketing, where they'll be able to market people's products with that knowledge and skills, and they'll be able to do well for themselves too, and lots more. And also, like I said the other time, part of our the trainings that we do in our offices here is we have one of this program is called the Makers Club. What this Makers Club seeks to do is that is a platform whereby young kids at the age of 5 years upward come together, and they are being introduced to to coding and programming, whereby they use IoT, that is the Internet of Things, to be able to command a robot, and that's to solve a problem in that kind of area. So they've been able to come together and build a lot of things as young as they are, and also to ideate and create other solutions to problems in this environment.
I build robots that can walk, draw different kind of flowers. I can build a robot that can walk, sense and organs, sense like my dad should. I can build a robot that can sense white. If it senses white, it will stop. Then I learn how to program them. Then I learn how to program on VB and Scratch, Python and C++.
One of the occupants of the hub gives kudos to the Bank of Industry for the establishment of the Bayelsa Tech Hub, as he narrates his experience since moving his business to the hub.
All right, basically my work is fully on CAC registration, business names, companies, NGOs, and also if you have any other changes you want to do in your existing registration, I work on that also. I came into Bayelsa Tech Hub, that was about 2 months ago, and ever since then I've enjoyed the facility. The internet connection is superb, the working environment is great. I never imagined I would see this kind of facility year before in Bayelsa, but since I came, at first I had a smaller office, but now because of the services they provide, I had to move to a bigger one here. Since I came, profit over profit, it has been great, and customer coming in most times and they're seeing great facilities. They don't negotiate me down. My negotiation, that'll be my price since I came. I up it a little, and I don't have issues with customers getting my services.
The Bank of Industry remains committed to building the Nigerian startup ecosystem, as it believes that technology startups are becoming major economic value creators in the 21st century. The bank is also optimistic that this trend will accelerate business growth as artificial intelligence, robotics, and many others become part of people's everyday life.
The Bank of Industry over the years continues to provide interventions for industries to thrive, and there is more where that came from. So as an entrepreneur in need of support to grow your business, kindly visit any of the branches of the bank closest to you, or log on to the website at boi.ng. You can also follow the bank on all social media platforms as displayed on your screen. It's a wrap on this week's edition of BOI Weekly. I'm Olayemi Odunuga. Thank you for watching.